Hey guys, Noel here, and it is Tuesday, and we have a little bit of time on our hands. I thought it would be fun for us to do a reaction video for the Noel ComiX YouTube channel. This is the first time we've ever done anything like this, but as you know, I'm a huge fan of the movie Bloodsport, and recently there's been a trailer making the rounds that goes by the name of Bloodsport ReDUX. Right there, ooh, new robot reading an old issue of the Wrestling Observer. I'll have to check that out later. But after I check this out right here, so why don't we watch this together? This is the trailer to Bloodsport ReDUX. Let's check this out, and well, I'll respond to some things.
This is tournament. It's a big tournament.
The music from the original movie is a very nice touch. And also we're in a situation where they're, I love that, the Paradis, yes, very nice. Okay, so this has got, I'm gonna pause this right here. Ooh, an aging Paco, that's very cool. All right, so first off, what's really cool, we've got Paradis and we've got Paco, and we've got the, guy who would be just about, my age, a little younger, 20s, 30s, kind of looking in awe of these legendary 80s cool dudes, which is right on par with, my generation's way of thinking. We're kind of going for a Rocky Balboa aesthetic, so, and this is also a little reminiscent of Van Damme's newer movies that are trying to do his 80s stuff, but with a more washed out, kind of grayish toned, a color palette. So it's trying to be a little grittier while still being within the world. A little bit of a Ragnarok vibe.
Moved everything around and only the strong survive.
I happen to know for a fact that Dukes is telling the truth.
So I really like that. Zhong Li.
Next. Who is the next? Nobody.
It's got a nice relaxing pace to it.
Same question for the last 25 years.
An aging Frank Dukes.
All my knowledge. When you fight, my spirit fight with you.
I start to believe in destiny more than anything else. So this is going to be our best shot. So I can show Hollywood.
Forrest Whitaker looking cool.
I cannot lose the fight. I'm a champion. I will not lose this fight.
Yeah, that synthesizer giving you the vibes right there. One thing I really also like about this trailer is the referencing of Frank Dukes' credibility being called into question, right? Because this is a very real thing that does lend itself to a Bloodsport sequel. Frank Dukes has, more or less been derided as someone who lied about the Kumite, and turning that into a movie where you have the movie version of Frank Dukes, who we know competed in a Kumite, and having people not believe him, trying to use how Frank Dukes kind of developed in the real world as an aging man whose credibility was called into question, and turning that into something to use in a movie plot, with now the Jean-Claude Van Damme Frank Dukes aging and having his credibility called into question, when we know the Van Damme Frank Dukes fought in the Kumite, because that was the whole point of the original Bloodsport. That was really cool, and it is really interesting to see how Paco and Paradis age. For those of you who don't know, Paradis is Tong Po in the Kickboxer movies, so it's always really interesting to see him in anything. So that was great. And again, that original music was fantastic. And I actually am normally pretty critical of Van Damme, with his newer movies, trying to shy away from the bright, vibrant 80s aesthetic of movies like Kickboxer and Bloodsport. But this does, the more kind of gritty gray does lend itself to the idea that we're now in the 21st century. These guys are older, they're battle-hardened, they're, aging warriors who, are probably working out at the martial arts gyms, pursuing their stuff they're fighting at a very high level, but now they're older, they're beaten down, they've got baggage, and that gray kind of lends itself to it. Yeah, no, so it's fantastic. I would hope that a Bloodsport sequel with original cast members does get made. One thing this also does remind me of a bit of is Yasuaki Kurata's Blood Fight, where you had an aging ex-Kumite champion coming out of retirement to prove himself. If you were to make a movie like this, it's highly likely, based on this trailer, that a lot of the plot elements of Yasuaki Kurata's Blood Fight would be borrowed, which is ironic because Yasuaki Kurata's Blood Fight was criticized for being too derivative of Bloodsport, but here we have a Bloodsport sequel where Frank Dukes is now the aging, fighter coming out of retirement. It looks like, just like Yasuaki Kurata's Blood Fight, where he was Masahiko Kai coming out of retirement to beat Chong Li, who killed his student. So, good stuff. So I hope you enjoyed this reaction video. I think it looks great. I have nothing but good things to say about it. Even though, in general, I'm weary about Van Damme running away from his 80s aesthetic to try to look more modern. But I think it works in this movie. I know it's just a fan trailer, but it's really well made. It gets a lot of people's hopes up, and here's to hoping that we get some new Bloodsport movies, and hopefully Van Damme and the real-life Frank Dukes can reunite, because Frank Dukes is a great fight choreographer. Serafina's awake. All right, guys, so you all take care, and I will see you in the very near future. Bye-bye.
Blood Fight. One man, against all odds, faces the ultimate fight of his life.
Welcome to the 1989 World Championship of Free Fighting.
In the violent world of free fighting, only the strongest survive. And although there are many contenders, a true master can only pass on his secrets to one.
Teach me how to do all these things, Sensei.
He's no good, and you know it.
But when the one he has chosen is beaten in a street fight, Sensei is forced to choose again. His new pupil begins training, and his chances to capture the title seem just within reach. The day of the big match arrives, and Ryu emerges victorious in fight after fight, until the final battle of the preliminary match, when Chang, the most feared man in the free fighting world, plays dirty and ends his life.
You know, I'm lucky I didn't stick around with you. Or I might have ended up like that other guy.
Was all this for nothing? The last thing you would have expected was for you to give up.
Overcome by guilt, his sadness turns to rage, and Sensei himself goes back into training, determined to avenge the death of his star pupil.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the fight of the century.
Blood Fight, when victory is the ultimate revenge.